Time now for a look at some of the business news, and we can begin with the markets. Last day of the trading week, and we can look at how things are going out in Asia. At the moment, only the Shanghai Composite down in the red. It's down about 0.5%. Meanwhile, indices in Tokyo, Hong Kong, and the Kospi out in Seoul all trading in the green. Now back to one of our top stories here on Live from Paris, the presidential election in Iran. And perhaps the biggest issue for voters is the ailing economy. U.S. sanctions have ravaged the country's financial well-being, and the pandemic has plunged the country into deeper economic turmoil. As we've touched on already, unemployment has soared and inflation is making everyday staples for people more difficult to afford. Monty Francis has more.
Afshin and Maryam Safieh had always hoped to build a comfortable life in Iran, but it's a dream the couple says is slipping away.
Whenever I think about our future, we couldn't have any plan. For example, I wanted to buy a house 2 years ago. I wanted to get a loan from the government, but the rate of inflation increased, I think, about 8 times more.
Inflation in Iran is set to hit 39% this year. Many families are struggling to buy everyday items at the grocery store, like milk, which has seen its price rise by 90% in the last 2 years. Iran's economic freefall accelerated in 2018, when then U.S. President Donald Trump withdrew from Tehran's nuclear deal. The crushing U.S. sanctions that followed included restrictions on Iran's crucial oil exports and helped plunge Iran's national currency to a historic low, and more than 4 million people fell into poverty. The coronavirus pandemic made matters worse. Official figures put the unemployment rate at 11%, but experts say the real number is almost double that. All challenges for the country's next president, tasked with reforming Iran's largely state-controlled economy. It's a task that partially depends on whether Tehran can agree to a return to the nuclear deal, which would come with the lifting of sanctions, an outcome that remains far from certain. Meanwhile, the Safiehs and others say their financial survival is hanging in the balance.